Welcome to Study Life. In this session of semiconductors and electronic devices, we are going to learn the biasing of a semiconductor. We know about this diagram over here. We know that this is a PN junction diode where I've got a P-type semiconductor and an N-type semiconductor fabricating, forming a depletion region. This depletion region is also referred as potential barrier, and we have learned about the details of a PN junction diode in our previous videos. But why do we need it? We need to bring it to some use at least, right? So we need to supply some electricity to this design. And the very idea of supplying electricity to this design is called as biasing. All I have to do is supply electricity to both the P-type semiconductor and to the N-type semiconductor. Let's see. There are two methods of biasing. The very first method is called as forward biasing. The very first method is referred as forward biasing. The second method is called as reverse biasing. What is forward biasing and what is reverse biasing? Let me try this. I am taking the P type of the semiconductor, connecting this to a power supply. This is my DC EMF with the positive terminal and the negative terminal. Let me connect this to a key. The key is basically a switch, on and off is its only job, and I'm connecting this over here. So in this type of system, I understand that this P type of semiconductor is connected to the positive terminal of my battery. The P to the positive, the N to the negative. When the P is connected to the positive terminal of the battery and N is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, this sort of biasing is called as forward biasing. It's just the idea. What is forward biasing? Connecting them P to positive, N to negative. But let's go for an alternate arrangement. What if I decide to connect this? Forget that there is something below over here. If I decide to connect this in a reverse order. Yes, like this. If I decide to connect everything in the reverse order, don't assume that there is anything down here. This is my negative terminal, this is my positive terminal. I am connecting this P to the negative terminal of the battery, this N to the positive terminal of the battery. When I reverse this idea, this becomes, what does this becomes? Reverse biasing, where the N is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, the P is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. This sort of biasing is called as forward biasing, and this one's reverse biasing. So I suppose you have understood what biasing means. Biasing is just connecting a supply to this PN junction. The details are into forward biasing and reverse biasing, but this isn't enough. We are going to learn about forward biasing and a respected graph for this. Also reverse biasing and a respective graph for this in our next videos. So I want you people to keep learning with me on Study Life, and see you next time. Until then, thank you.